Okay, here's my 3D phone. All I had to do was break my government phone in a specific place. And now I have no need for an app to split the lenticular lens images. I just have to turn it this way. Then it's three-dimensional again. Since the Flippy, that I had a working prototype with a lenticular lens on it over 20 years ago at InventHelp. Didn't have the money for that. And my brother Aloysius III Susky was there. And mother Roberta Fedison was there. Guess what? I'm gonna go show up at Christmas time and not have a blast. Just a working 3D phone. I already know how. Let's see, at that angle with my concave pitted laser two-way mirror array. Suddenly it becomes a holodeck. Basically, with my screen that I'm going to put on probably next week, pitted all the way up and down in a test grinding, probably like a Rubik's Cube here with extra and then some hexes. Basically, all I got to do is drop some liquid, molten glass, drop by drop, into a jar of water, and then take the glass and then just super glue it to the screen in any random pattern. Suddenly it becomes a working holodeck. And I own my brain. My brain was taught by internal communications expert C-School. It was also taught by where the Hindenburg blew up, Lakehurst, New Jersey, on a 1/6 scale mock-up of Nimitz-class carriers. People died for that information to be put into my head. So I went to Desert Storm right away, just in time not to see Chuck Norris. And I have a 90-day sea service ribbon. I have a Being in Time of War ribbon. I have the Southwest Asia Medal with a bronze star. I have notorious mention during a court-martial as I've been told by people who weren't in the Navy, and my brain is fallible, but I remember it as a F-16 Hornet that crashed on the rundown. It's a one-seater. Maybe it's not called a Hornet, but it was a Hornet, and it was a one-seater. And it's not a F-18, because the F-18 has 2 seats. Anyway, probably a Tomcat. So, let's see. Pilot broke his leg. Hit the rundown. It got waved off. Afterburners turned on. Nose hit the deck. Slowing it down. I was standing in front of the blast shield. I was about 19. I was interested as to why the whole ship rocked like that, because that was neat. So I straightened up and did a little bit of on the port heel and the starboard toe, suddenly poo-pooing, a 45-degree half cock. The wing then whooshed clockwise as it slowed down, barely missing. It was probably a training exercise. I mean, the third smartest person in Wisconsin in May of 1990 just got out to the biggest and the fastest in the fleet that's ever been made, named after the Earth's only 5-star general, named during a time of war on the planet. Oh, holographic phone update. Wait, check Android. Okay, I'll do that later. Anamorphic. Here, wait, we gotta tilt it. Is that me? Whoa, here, that's a much better representation of why it works. Okay, see, this has a reduced viewing angle. At that angle, it's highly three-dimensional. A CRT goes up and down like that. My laser array goes up and down this way, because that way you have a rotating laser array on the top of your car, and you want to project a holographic image around your car, and it's so bright that it doesn't matter that you have camouflage or if you got a crappy car or not. You could be a big giant tree, or you could be just the wind moving down the street with just a hexagonal version with magnets and a separatable Bluetooth camera with Velcro on it. And this government phone, suddenly it's hexagonal with magnet, and stop signs and pentagrams, whatever. You just shake them out, whatever magnetizes onto your car. Suddenly, maybe you go over a police stop strip, but instead of puncturing your tires, it explodes a whole ton of just different shapes of flat, three-dimensional phones of mine in my design, in my proprietary right. I've done some crazy emails to Gruber telling about inheritance and 3D phones and all that. It's all recorded on Make Hoodie Not War, or Make Hoodie also, all lowercase one word, on YouTube. So also Rob Knight Films, Josiah Winslow, Jadinator, and let's see, there's records and records and records. Basically, what if you had shoes, a leather shirt and jacket, and pants made of leather probably, that had little bits of metal on it, like say samarium. Samarium repels sharks. You can go surfing with a leather and samarium coated, what would that be? A battle gear? I mean, that would be a suit of armor, for real. Okay, so you got your suit of armor. It's a wetsuit. And it's got little pellets of samarium, which can be magnetized. You also got cobalt, which is a natural magnet. And the samarium repels sharks, and when it touches biomatter, which can conduct when wet through leather, but not through your wetsuit, so you don't want to electrocute yourself or overpower yourself. But then in spots you have the wetsuit cut out, and you touch the leather, and the leather, sometimes you have skin showing. Basically, you have a suit that has immense electricity always around it as a force field. Underwater, you'd be able to weld things just by pointing your finger at them. One time I stroked, on Royal with 2 L's Avenue in Bradywood. What was it? 1422 East Royale with cheese. Sean lives there. Anyway, mommy does this is paying up. So see, you have your suit there, and I already know I can control where electricity goes through. If you test your skin with a multimeter or a fluke, it usually cycles through 0 to 1 to 666, but actually it's 999, and it doesn't read 1,000. And idiots that test their skin, they see the 666 and they go, "Oh my God, I'm a demon," and they don't stick around until it zeroes out, and it goes 1 plus 1 plus minus 1 and then 0. Sometimes it tests. Then once it zeroes on your skin, you can test your skin at different spots. Anyway, you don't need that. You just need a nylon bed and a nylon pillow, arms, legs, and ability to keep your distance with your left knee from the bed that you're stroking. I'd be stroking. That's what I'd be doing with your, your starboard hand, your blue hand, right hand. You stroke the pillow back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Suddenly you hear a crackling, especially if you're on the second floor, not the first floor, and it's dry outside and dry inside. And wet in you see, but I digress. So then you keep going like this, and I taped one of it on Make Hoodie Not War about the time I had the dusting idea of the keyboard, and just upgrades your stuff, and it reads whether there's cat dander or mold in your, it learns the environment as soon as you turn it on, where you turn your laptop on. So if you do it at home, it'll tell you how to get rid of everything that's in the air, HEPA filter wise. I used to work for Shower and Associates in abating asbestos. It's basically 3% per thousand or something like three. There's 3% asbestos in the air at all time. Basically, you can't get asbestosis, and if you get you could get asbestosis by inhaling one little particle, and suddenly it shuts your lungs down, and you don't even have time to breathe in and say, hey, maybe I got mesothelioma, I should call that in line, and have them and their lawyers check everything that could possibly be wrong with me except mesothelioma. Because if you got mesothelioma, it takes about 20, 30 years after exposure to the asbestos that gave you the mesothelioma in the first place, as per Shower and Associates. So let's see, I digress. You have your suit. Suddenly it's a force field underwater. Dolphins already know how to blow air rings in the water. What if your electricity... Okay, so I stroked the bed a bunch of times, started crackling. I was saying out loud, well, dang, it went first from my pinky to this one and the longer one and this, I kept zapping it and it would discharge out of my knee if I touched the bed, so I had to stay away. I charged up, there was a pillow away, put my hand close to the bed and zzz, just as I'm saying over my shoulder to the camera, dang, I wish I could get it to go out of my thumb. It went bzzz, out of my thumb. Okay, so I know that my brain has been upgrading the lithium around, the titanium around my implants in my grill. I got 3 titanium rods in my mouth. They've been moving around over the years for a very long time, for about 20, 25 years. And I already know there's a nervous system generated somehow linkage around certain implants in my body. The only way I can prove this is if you've ever gone antique shopping, everything has a patina. Metal has a patina the most. It collects everything in your body. And the titanium would have atomically transferred into my body over 20 years. And every 7 years, your body replaces itself completely. But the titanium is continuing to shed atoms. Basically, my brain is full of atoms of titanium. Also, I smoked sugar for 2 years and cocoa. So basically, just in case I wanted some extra carbon and lenticular lenses. When you burn something, you get buckyballs, nanotubes, soot, graphite, carbon, diamond, the list goes on and on. Okay, now you're caught up to speed. So you have this suit, suddenly you have an electrical bolt in the water that you control with your brain naturally because you're used to it, and all you're wearing is a plastic suit, neoprene, whatever. You have pellets of cobalt and samarium not touching each other in certain spaces on your suit as per Qi lines, ancient Chinese secret, no, and you'd look like a giant walking soccer ball. Some of those pellets would be not the cobalt ones, the samarium ones. If they get powered by biological matter, like say you touch a leaf or an orchid, suddenly that part of your body powers up, examines what you touched, mimics it on the other side of your body, scans for every available life form that could possibly be looking at you, then also scans electronically for everything that could possibly be seeing you. And get this, I came up with all this on my own, without reading books, or looking on the internet, or imagining things that aren't true, or having access to Area 51 or upper levels of the government. All I had was a laser shined on my pencil while I was drawing a line across the street from the White House, and booyah, it turned red. I mean blue. So I was allowed to go port and trace the secret symbol service symbol. Anyway, I have certain information in my head that I've put there on purpose so that one day I could do this on my three-dimensional phone as it updates itself, and it's free because it was paid for the government. And it also was paid for by Wisconsin, the state of which pays me to have a Quest card. So when I tell you I'm Lieutenant Chaplain Seski of the Nimitz, dry dock champion at my court-martial, and I had the longest hair ever recorded on board the ship. I'm also a trusty shellback, as per King Neptune himself. And I saluted at Pearl Harbor. And I was present as Clinton's first female air wing was trained. But none of it makes any difference to me because my kid's mother doesn't know that she had kids with someone who's going to go out and guard Saturn so no one fucks with the rings. In a ship I built myself. Part of it's over there. Part of it's up there on the ceiling. It's basically hidden from view. I've already given an update on YouTube previously as to how its interstellar capabilities can sprout from water being split into oxygen and hydrogen, and carrying a shockwave ahead of you as you dive, like if dolphins could swim, I mean. A little Star Wars creeping in there. If dolphins could swim. Oh, if dolphins could swim. So could I.